Grenada National Trust partners with Ministry of Education to promote preservation of intangible cultural heritage among students. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. Thursday, February 2nd, 2023, I am Sherry-Ann Noel. The Grenada National Trust Fund is partnering with the Ministry of Education and UNESCO to incorporate cultural elements in the curriculum for all subject areas. This is part of the educational component of the fund's Proud of My Heritage project, which looks at safeguarding Grenada's intangible cultural heritage through inventory and education initiatives. Grenada's intangible cultural heritage include buildings, historic places, and monuments. In August 2022, the Grenada National Trust, GNT, facilitated a workshop for teachers and educators to push the implementation of the education aspect of the program in all schools. Fieldwork Coordinator Gloria Bonaparte, during the GNT's press conference on Thursday, outlined some of the successes of the training and how it paves the way for cultural preservation.
Teachers were exposed to those, and of course, as being an educator, I wanted to make sure that they understand it's not just learning about it, but ensuring that it reaches the children. How do you go about planning a social studies lesson under riddles or proverbs or some kind of dance? How do you bring that across to your children? Even some of the local cuisine, some of the things that are made in restaurants that probably be slight and we just take it for granted. How do we pass on these recipes to children? So the teachers at that training also had to come up in groups, maybe with different kinds of music, different types of songs, different types of recipes. How are you going to bring that across to a class of students before you? And I think we were very much impressed with the product. They all met in their groups, they planned, they presented, they dramatized, and we were satisfied that we would have reached our objective.
Marketing and communication agent for the project, Christine Lashington, explained that the ICH awareness campaign has been successful so far with 4 workshops, a photo competition, and the production of a 2023 calendar. During the month of February, recognized as Heritage Month, the fund will continue to build awareness on the significance of safeguarding the country's heritage. She spoke of the booth at the Independence Made in Grenada Expo.
We've already begun. We had a very interactive learning and performance in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and we had 3 of the primary schools there, Mount Pleasant, Dover, and Hillsborough primary schools. They performed an ICH element each at the Independence Cultural Evening at the Botanical Gardens last week on the 25th of January. And what's important is that, of course, for the performance, it takes a lot of practice. You know, the best ways, I'm sure the teachers in the room would agree, is really to involve students in the process. You're talking days and weeks of rehearsal, getting to understand what you're portraying. That really does a lot in terms of ensuring that there is longevity of remembering these ICH elements for years to come. We're really excited. We are having a booth at the Made in Grenada Expo from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Independence Day at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. This is where ICH will come alive. Think of it as being a mini museum. We're not taking your role, Angus, but it's going to be almost a mini museum of select ICH elements. We will be portraying jab jab, Shakespeare mass, short knee, drumming, as well as craft and boat building.
Keisha Jolino, Secretary General of the Grenada National Commission for UNESCO, underscored the importance of preserving cultural heritage for the future generations.
UNESCO continues to support member states in safeguarding our intangible cultural heritage through inventorying and capacity building of community members on how to transfer knowledge, skills, and understanding of the meaning of ICH. We must remember that within communities, intangible cultural heritage can only be heritage when it is recognized as such by the communities, groups, or individuals that create, maintain, and transmit it. It lives with the communities. Through projects and initiatives like these, it is hoped that members of the communities will continue to focus on protecting the processes involved in making sure that intangible cultural heritage remains an active part of life for today's generation that they can hand over to tomorrow's.
The press conference was also attended by Dr. Ezra Matthias, GNT Council member, Angus Martin, ICH researcher, and Ms. Susan Jones Benjamin, Assistant Chief Cultural Officer. Moving along, Grenada celebrates 10 years of the popular Chocolate Festival with a selection of activities for 2023 from May 16 to the 21st. The journey of the festival started with two companies, Grenada Chocolate Company and Juve. Over the years, tremendous growth has been made attracting chocolate lovers and chocolatiers from around the globe. Grenada Chocolate Festival has many successes that were attained over the years, including the capturing of second position in the Amazing Caribbean Festivals. Minister for Agriculture and Land, Senator the Honorable Adrian Thomas, says these events are aligned to the government's transformational agenda and speaks of collaboration with different agricultural sectors.
I want to congratulate the Chocolate Fest for putting on this show, and I am happy to know that it's the 10th anniversary. And if you survive for 10 years, it means that you have the potential to survive for another 10 and another 10. And I'm also happy to be part of it now because it fits and it's aligned to the transformational agenda that our government is talking about. And I want to encourage you that some of the incentives we'll be offering to the farmers, to the agro-processors, I want you to open your ears, open your eyes, stretch your hand, come forward. We'll be willing to work with you. Because what I'm seeing here is exactly the direction in which we want to go as a government.
Renata Fielding, representative of the Grenada Chocolate Festival and daughter of Chocolate Fest founder Magdalena Fielding, is looking forward to a successful rum edition event.
Rum distilleries as well have flourished in Grenada in the last decade, and we feel very honored they have agreed to join us on this very special rum edition of the Grenada Chocolate Festival 2023. Cocoa, chocolate, and rum are key industries in Grenada. And all of this is made possible, of course, by our incredibly hardworking cocoa farmers, chocolatiers, and rum industry workers who I give great thanks. Let's make the 10-year anniversary the year we modernize and transform the cocoa industry to reflect the dynamic businesses that have evolved here in Grenada. We'd love your guidance and support to help make this happen in 2023.
Lynn hopes Grenada can continue to hold the prestige it has as an exclusive cocoa producer.
Consider this. The Caribbean is held in high regard as a cocoa-producing region because it produces fine cocoa. It is special because only 5% of the world is fine cocoa. Fine cocoa is produced in 17 countries worldwide, and of those, only 8 are recognized as exclusive producers. The Caribbean accounts for 7 of those 8 exclusive producers, and Grenada is one of them. Woo! So in 2023, let's help make the Caribbean the capital of cocoa and chocolate. In Grenada, let's work at the highest level to make this happen regionally and internationally.
The Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation continues its Independence Cleanup initiative in several parishes over the weekend. The ministry, along with organizations, the Royal Grenada Police Force and other ministries, has taken a lead role since 2022 to implement and execute various cleanup initiatives island-wide. Change Management Officer Kimika Donald told GIS the second Independence Cleanup campaign takes place this weekend in St. George, St. Patrick and St. John. She commended the teams and volunteers from the previous week and encouraged others to get on board.
We have the second weekend of cleanup taking place this Saturday and Sunday in the areas of South St. George. From Calais, we have areas like Calais, Coffee Bow Hill, Woburn, Mangrove, and the Calivini Community Center. In St. George Southeast, we have Roebuck and Laborie Junction. They'll also be cleaning up Monjalo Crossroad, right up to Richmond Hill, as well as Paddock Springs and Marion to Calivini Main Road. And on Sunday, the residents of St. John will come out and engage in a cleanup in Concord, Black Bay, Marigrat, and Grand Roy. We also have St. Patrick East, the tongue of St. George behind the bus terminus, and other areas across the island where we would have identified as hotspots for improper garbage disposal. We have community members that were mobilized to come out and just engage in a general cleanup of those areas.
Donald said while this initiative is being centered on independence, the overall intent is to continuously beautify Grenada.
To volunteer, they can contact the Ministry of Mobilization at 435-8665, and we will assist with coordinating these community efforts to ensure that we have sufficient teams out in the various areas, as well as to coordinate the collection trucks from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority to ensure that when areas are cleaned, the garbage can be disposed of immediately. So once again, we thank everyone who has assisted, and we look forward to engaging in more initiatives like these, because it's not just an independence cleanup activity. We would really like to see this community togetherness continue right throughout the year, persons just coming out and showing concern for their communities, their environment, and coming together to engage in cleanup and beautification activities like these.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Paging all Grenadians at home and in the diaspora to be part of the journey to 50, reflecting on the past, planning for the future as we get ready to celebrate our 49th anniversary of independence. Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. Events to be observed for our 49th anniversary of independence include table tennis tournament at the CSA building, February 3rd and February 4th. Independence Calypso Finals, Sutter's Bus Terminal, 8 p.m. February 3rd, February 4th. Open water swimming competition, Grand Mall Beach at 9 a.m. and beach tennis at Grandans Beach from 11 a.m. Also the Independence Boxing Tournament, February 4th, 8 p.m. at the Youth Center. National Independence Church Service, Grenada Trade Center, Sunday, February 5th, 3 p.m. National Colors Day, the Inter-Ministerial Display, and the 49th Cultural Extravaganza, 7 p.m. at the Granville Bus Terminal. February 6th, then the Made in Grenada Expo, Military Parade and Rally, 10 a.m. at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tuesday, February 7th, happy 49th, Grenada.
Welcome back. The new UNICEF representative to Grenada and the Eastern Caribbean, Mr. Peter Bult, has presented his letters of appointment to Honorable Joseph Andel, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development. Mr. Bult, who is based in Barbados, began his appointment as United Nations Children's Fund representative for the Eastern Caribbean in August 2022. He serves 12 countries, the 8 Eastern Caribbean states, as well as Barbados, BVI, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Minister Andel conveyed Grenada's gratitude for the assistance and support given to schools, including the provision of tablets to students during the COVID-19 pandemic. He also conveyed gratitude for the advice and advocacy provided the inclusion of children during the climate change negotiations. UNICEF also assisted the Spotlight Initiative, which works on alleviating family violence and violence against women and girls. This initiative operates through small grants and with assistance from the European Union. Grenada was praised by Mr. Bult for its high school enrollment rate, and he pledged to focus on the alleviation of children on the brink of poverty and an early childhood intervention where social workers can be trained. He said a model will be developed for Grenada based on what already exists in the country. Mr. Bult will visit early childhood schools while in Grenada. Now for a recap of the top story. Grenada National Trust partners with Ministry of Education to promote preservation of intangible cultural heritage among students. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sherry Ann Noel, thanking you for viewing.